episode of Coffee with Moshe here in Israel. Welcome to my home here in Israel, and Esther's filming us. This is my living room, part of my book collection. Okay, so today's featured coffee is from Shamon Cafe in Germany. My good friend Herbert Shamon, the best coffee. Every time I visit him or he visits me, I get really wonderful coffee, and it's always a special experience. I'd like to talk again a little bit about my roots and the values in my early karate training. So here's the book, which again, you're required to buy something, I buy it. Buy the books that your teacher writes. This is when it was called U.S. Kyokushin Oyama's Karate. Later on it became Oyama Karate, U.S. Oyama Karate, World Oyama Karate, etc. But this is in the early days when it was simply a style of Kyokushin. This is our textbook. I bought this when I first signed up. I want to read you something. And again, although our style today is quite different, we still have elements of this style within IKI. This is certainly a part of the development of IKI, but more than that, we have a lot of the traditional values of karate. So I want to read you something. In order to learn any hand or foot technique, you must practice it over and over again, and then practice it some more. Most people in the modern world think they could learn it with only their head. I'll say that again. Most people in the modern world think they can learn with only their head. They do not have the desire, determination, perseverance, or patience to push themselves physically. They merely think about a technique and practice it several times, and they think they know it. This is the easy way. This is the wrong way. You can never master any technique by this method. You must practice one technique repeatedly until it fits your body. This requires great patience and perseverance, and it is a hard way to go. But only by pushing your body this way, by fighting yourself and your weaknesses, can you develop the courage and self-confidence necessary to use karate effectively. This courage and self-confidence can also be used in daily life, in business, human relations, etc. The only way to acquire this self-confidence and courage is to push yourself, work hard, and sweat. Now, this message, I can't tell you how important it is, and how even instructors don't get it. And it's upsetting. Sometimes I'll arrive someplace to do a seminar. And today we have long distance training. We have DVDs, we have Zoom, we have videos, we have Vimeos. Great. But I get to see some of my students once a year for a day or 2 days. And what do I hear? Don't teach us what we did last year. Who's the teacher here? Me or you? If you think you know it all, make your own system. Good luck. You think it's easy? Don't insult me. If I'm coming to teach, I'll tell you when you know the technique. I'll tell you when you're good enough to move on to the next technique. What happened to the traditional values? When are you ready for the next level? When your teacher tells you that you're ready, not when you tell the teacher that you're ready. I'm bored. I'm a kid who's bored during my summer vacation. Teach me something else. Well, then you're not a black belt, and you never will be. And if you have students and you tell me, but my students want something different and more exciting, I'm sorry, you're not a very good instructor. I'm sorry. But if you are the dog being wagged by the tail, if your students lead the way and you're afraid of losing your students, so you have to entertain them, then I have to wonder what kind of instructor you are. I never questioned my teacher, and we did the same technique every time. In Kyokushin, same technique every time. And you know what? Let me share a secret. I still don't feel that I know those techniques well enough. I still don't feel that I know the front kick, the side kick, any of these kicks well enough. I would like to go back to the 1980s. I'd like to go back to training at the Kyokushin Dojo on West 4th Street in Manhattan. I'd like to go back to being a student. I don't feel that I know those techniques well enough. And I would never, ever dare say to one of my instructors, teach me something more interesting. Never. It's very rare that I come for a seminar and I look at a student and say, they've got it. And when I do feel that way, it happens. When I see a teacher who really grasp the technique, guess what? Then we won't work on that technique. I got a million things to work on, and I'm more interested in working on the more advanced techniques if you are ready for it. But if I see you don't have the basic stance correctly, if I see you don't have the universal block done correctly, if I see you can't do your knife defenses with knife threats, with the Jenga step correctly, if I see you doing it all wrong, so I've waited a year, I've come back here, and you're not doing it right, then you need to review it. And that's the reality. Psycho Sheehan over there in that book doesn't mince words. He says there's a right way and there's a wrong way. Today we're all worried about offending somebody. You must have discipline. You must have self-determination. You must have perseverance. In my day, I can't tell you how many times my teachers insulted me. And we're great friends till today with those who are still alive. Today it's not acceptable to insult students, and I don't insult students at all. But if they're not doing a technique correctly, it's your job, it's your obligation as an instructor to instruct. It's your job as a teacher to teach, not just to flatter and pat people on the back and, good boy. No. You want to move to the next level? Don't tell me, show me.